Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be comparing two orange distortion pedals from Boss, one that you would almost certainly be familiar with and one that probably not so much. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Boss DS-1 Distortion as well as the MD-2 Mega Distortion. For the comparison today I'm playing my Gibson SG Standard. The amp I'm using is a Marshall SV20H Plexi style amp and I'm running both pedals once again through the Bright Onions AB looper. So other than the obvious of both these pedals being orange and made by Boss, to my ear they're fairly similar. That being said, I do believe that they are based on different circuits. What I mean by this is the MD2 isn't just a modified DS1. So let's get into some tones. My clean tone straight into the amp with the bypass on sounds like this. So just with a little bit of breakup with the amp on the edge of distortion. Now I've got both of these pedals set up for what I consider to be the most standard use case. That sort of slightly alternative rock full-on distortion. So with the DS1 that's with the tone control at about 11 o'clock and the distortion control at about 2 o'clock. And then with the MD2 with the distortion at 12 o'clock with the added gain control at about 9 o'clock. And then the EQ with the treble just rolled ever so slightly under 12 o'clock and the bass just over 12 o'clock. So starting with the DS1, which is the red light on the looper, that sounds like this. And then switching over to the MD2, which is the blue light on the looper. So that's a demonstration of really how I would set up both of these pedals for the standard high distortion use case. Now I'm going to back both distortions back down to about 9 o'clock just so you can hear what both of them sound like in comparison on a lower setting. And that sounds, starting with the DS1, something like this. So as you can hear, the Mega Distortion does have more gain in it, even on low settings, and I think that really comes down to having that extra gain control as well. But hopefully you can hear that these two pedals do very much sound like they come from the same family. And finally I'm just going to turn the distortions up a bit just so you can hear more of a sludgy tone that you can achieve with these pedals. I've also added in a little bit more gain on the Mega Distortion as well. But starting off with the DS1. So I hope that gives you some idea of what these two pedals are like compared to one another. Now obviously you've got a lot more tonal options with the MD2, as you've got the 2-band EQ as well as that added gain control, which I personally really like and find that it gives you a more natural sort of distortion and allows the pedal to blend with an amp slightly better. Of course the DS1 is a really classic sound and has been used by anyone and everyone, but I think for me personally I would lean more towards the MD2 because I think you can achieve DS1-esque tones with it, with them being sort of in the similar ballpark, but it also gives you a lot more tonal options and you can do things with it that you can't with the DS-1. But let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know whether you've had any experience, especially with the MD-2, because I'm pretty sure most of you will have played a DS-1 at some point. But let me know your thoughts on the tones and these pedals down below, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.